Shalom. I'm Rabbi Nathan Davidovich speaking to you from Efrat, Israel. We're going to study our Nativot Shalom lesson tonight on the Parsha Tetazvah. This Parsha starts, V'ato Tetazvah es bnei Yisrael. You shall command the children of Israel, Vayikhu eilecha shemen zayis zach, that they shall take pure olive oil, katit lamor, that's beaten to be really fine, so that it's suitable for lighting, l'halo ner tamid, and to light the eternal light, which refers to the Menorah. The Menorah, of course, in the Beit Hamikdash was had to remain lit all day long, 24 hours a day. It was constantly lit. So we're going to talk about the light of the Menorah. Now, we no longer have a Beit Hamikdash. How do we have that light? So the Nativot Shalom we're going to talk about is on page Reish Yud Beit in this book, the book of Shemot, and it's entitled Or HaMenorah, Or HaGanuz, the light of the Menorah, the hidden light. So we'll just start right with the Nativot Shalom. He repeats the pasuk I just said from the Torah. V'ato Tetazvah es bnei Yisrael v'yikhu eilecha shemen zayis zach katzis lamor l'halo ner tamid. You shall command bnei Yisrael to take for themselves pure olive oil, beaten for the light. So you get the best part of the olive oil.
Does that mean like refined or?
I guess it's refined, but the word kati really means to beat it. I'm not sure what the process was, but basically you're making it. I guess it's refining it so that it's as pure as you can get, the olive oil.
On the bottles, it always says katit.
Oh, does it? Okay.
On the bottles, it says katit, and in English, it kind of says refined.
Oh, okay, good. So I guess it's refined. The real translation is beating it. I always think that, Bnei Yisrael Hashem is treating us like the olive oftentimes, and we feel like we're beaten. But we have to understand, but as we're being beaten, we're being groomed to be the greatest light in the world.
Right.
We are on the beginning of Tetazvah, Reish Yud Beit. Then he goes on to say, Hine mashmot amru tamid, hu lashon inyan nitzchei. We have to understand what it means by the word tamid. Tamid means forever. It's a language of eternity. It lasts forever. L'chein isa b'chazal, and the sages have said, shekasher hikrivu hanasiim es karbonosehem. When the tabernacle was inaugurated in the desert, the Mishkan was inaugurated, all of the heads of the tribes brought their various offerings, l'chanukas hamizbeach, for the dedication of the altar, and then what happened? All the tribes were bringing it, but not the tribe of Aaron. So chol shadatu shel Aaron, Aaron HaKohen, the high priest, was concerned. The word halash is really to be weak. His mind became weak. He understand what's going on. Birosam shekulam makrivim v'hu v'shivto einam makrivim. He saw that all of the tribes are commanded to bring an offering, but he and his tribe are not commanded to bring an offering. What's going on? So Hashem says to him, we are saving you for something greater than this, greater than bringing the sacrifices. Our karbanos, Hashem tells our karbanos, the sages teach us, Kol Zaman Beit Hamikdash Kayim Heim Nohagim. When do we bring the karbanos, the offerings in the temple? When the temple is in existence. Amal Hanerot, but the light of the menorah, La'olam El Mul Panei HaMenorah Yiru, they will always light the face of the menorah. The Hikshu Bazeh HaMeforshim, and of course the sages ask about this. Hare Vizman Beis Hamikdash Charav, when the Beis Hamikdash was destroyed, Batla Gam Hadlakas Menorah. The lighting of the menorah was also abolished. There was nothing to light anymore. They quote a medrash to answer this in the Medrash Tanchuma. It says the Shenechrav Beis Hamikdash, when the Beis Hamikdash was destroyed, Nignezeh HaMenorah B'toch Shar Devarim Shenignezu. The menorah was hidden away amongst other things that were hidden. Oron, what were the other things? The Oron that held the luchot, the tablets of the commandments. Vo'esh, the special fire that would come down from Shemayim, from heaven, to burn the korbanos. Ruach HaKodesh, the spirit of holiness. V'hakruvim, and the kruvim, which were the what's the English word for kruvim? The
little child
Cherubs.
angels.
Cherubs. The cherubs that were on top of the Oron. And we remember that when Bnei Israel, the children of Israel, were not doing the will of God, they would turn away from each other. But when they were doing the will of God, they would hug each other. In fact, when the Beit Hamikdash was destroyed, one of the great questions is they were hugging each other. And, very interesting symbolism. The Beit Hamikdash is burning, and these cheruvim, the two cheruvim on top, are hugging one another. So those were three things that were not destroyed. They were hidden away. Ach mikol makom kasha. So it's still as a question he asked. B'ma mitkaimet avodas hamenorah v'nero shel ol miru. How do we continue the lighting of the menorah? How does that exist for all these generations? That's a madavar tzarich bir. We have to understand. Madu be'emes davka hamenorah nignaza. Why is it specifically that the menorah was hidden away? Below botla yoter mishar kli hamishkan, and why the other things that were could no longer be used in the Mishkan because they were destroyed. Why weren't they hidden away? Ubishloma sha'ar arba hadavorim, with these four things that we just mentioned, yesh lanu shehem inyanim shel tavim. All these things we just mentioned. No, I'm sorry. The things that were destroyed were things of nature, the building itself, things that were built from materiality. But shebehem ein shayach churban. I'm sorry, I read that wrong. Let me back up, excuse me. These four things we mentioned, yesh lanu shehem inyan al tavim. These things were above nature. They weren't made from ordinary materials. They were all supernatural things that happened. The menorah, how was the menorah created? Hashem told Moshe to take a piece of gold, throw it into the fire, and out came the menorah. Because the menorah is one piece. It has all these intricate designs on it. It's one piece. So that's l'mala min hatev. That's above nature. The concept of the eish, the fire that came from heaven, that's above nature. The keruvim that we just mentioned, that's above nature. So these things were not destroyed. Shebehem ein shayach churban. You can't destroy such a thing. K'man damar b'sifrei HaKodesh, she'achurban lo haya el b'botei barai, ama b'botei gavai lo haya churban. The destruction was only on the physical, temporary things, but not on the spiritual things that were in the Beit Hamikdash. When Yonim Shalomala min hateva, hem bechinas batei gavai shlo he behem churban. These things that were above nature, they were not things that were destroyed in the Beit Hamikdash during the destruction. Valkain, and therefore nignazu, they were hidden away. And what were they? Well, he goes into the explanation of Aaron, the holy ark. Shibohi had Torah v'luchos hoedus haksun metzbalohim. You had in the ark the luchos, the tablets of the commandments that were written by the finger of God. Shu inyan l'mala min hateva. That's certainly above nature. They weren't written by a human being. V'chein ha'esh min hashemayim, the fire that came down from heaven to burn the offerings. Hi l'mala min hateva. That was above nature. Ruach HaKodesh, the ability to know beyond what a human being could know, the ability to have holy thoughts, holy nevuah, holy prophecy, that's above nature. V'chein hakruvim, and also the kruvim were above nature. Chamosh Omer Chazal, as our sages have said, Bisman Yisrael osim rutzono shel makom. When the Bnei Yisrael, children of Israel, are doing the will of God, Pneihem ish el achiv umorin zebazeh. Talking about the kruvim, as I just mentioned before, when they're doing the will of God, they are embracing, they're looking at each other, turned towards each other. Shu inyan l'mala min hateva. That's something that's certainly not natural. It's above nature. Ach inyan ha-menorah tzorech bir. So we have to understand the aspect of the menorah. Why do you think? Why is it above nature? There were a lot of different vessels in the Beit Hamikdash, in the temple. Why was the menorah singled out among all those vessels? The others were destroyed. Why was the menorah saved? Hashulchan v'mizbeach shnigdasu v'kaim lad. The shulchan and the mizbeach, they were destroyed, but the menorah was hidden away and lasts forever. You have to understand. Eich nilma pasuk el mul panei hamenorah yeiru shivas haneros. How do we learn from this sentence that says, facing the face of the menorah, you shall light 7 candles, 7 lights. Inyan hanitzchi shel menorah. This is the aspect of the eternity of the menorah. Od tzorech lomar can also be said, the Isa Sham, the Midrash, as we learned in that same Midrash, the Midrash Tanchuma, Mul Panei Menorah, Yeiru Shivas Haneros, where it says you should light them towards the menorah, and they have 7 candles. You had six on one side, 6 on the other side, facing the one in the middle. That refers to the presence of God sitting with human beings in the presence of in this light when you're lighting the menorah. She'amar lahem el mul panei menorah yeiru, as he said, in the face of the menorah I will bring light. But different midrash ein lahem havana, and it's hard to understand what the midrash is saying. Eich mashma ba'omru al mul panei menorah yeiru shivas haneros hakadosh baruch yoshev yachad im basar v'dam ma'aseh menorah. How is it that the presence of God is sitting with the human beings in the creation of in the work of the menorah and the lighting of the menorah? Od motzinu, we also find b'malos ha-menorah sham midrash, and in the qualities of a menorah that we see in the midrash. Shaharbe yiga Moshe ad shelo os es ha-menorah. Moshe tried so hard to be able to make the menorah, and he wasn't able to make it. The kibbutz shenish kasha. Then when he became so hard, Amrlei HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Hashem said to him, Lashlichu le'esh v'yotzu menorah. He says, throw the gold into the fire, and the menorah would come out, and it came out. Leficha kasiv, as it's written, Kamara, like the vision Asher Hera Hashem, as Moshe, that God showed to Moses, Kainos was a menorah, so you shall make the menorah. Inu Omer, Kain asay Moshe, ela kain asay stam. It doesn't say this is what Moshe did, but just that he did it. So mi asa, so who did it? What does it mean? Who did it? Not Moshe did it. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Hashem did it. Hashem made it. Shagam zet tzorech bir. We have to explain this too. Lama davka menorah. Why only the menorah? Haisat tzricha. Why Why was it only the menorah that had to be made only by Hashem himself and not by a human being? We had, Bezalel made all the different things in the Mishkan. Why only this particular thing, this menorah, was made only by God?
And the Aron and the Luchot. There's two.
With the Luchos were in the Aron, right?
But not the Aron itself.
Not the Aron itself.
The Aron was not made by God. It was human.
No, there were very definite dimensions,
Right.
plans for making it in last week's Parsha. We talked about the.
So why was it saved? Because I thought you said that just things that were supernatural.
Because it held the things that were supernatural. It held the luchos. It held the tablets that were written by the hand of God.
Okay.
The Yesh Lamer can be said, the Hine Amr Chazal, as our sages say in Gemara Chagiga, or Shebora HaKadosh Baruch Hu B'Yom Rishon, the very light that God created on the first day of creation, Adam Tzofe Umabit Bo Misof Olam Ad Sofu, a person would be able to look and see from one end of the world to another. And we know that the light that was created was not the sun, because the sun was not created on the first day. The light was on the first day, but the sun and the moon were on I believe on the fourth day, third or fourth day, or fifth. I forget which day. It wasn't the first. It may have been the fourth. I'd have to look at Bereshit to remember that. I don't remember. But it was a different light. This was a special light that you could see literally to the end of the world. Given Sheistakel Kadosh Baruch Hu, when Hashem saw She'enu Kadai Lishtamesh Bo Rashaim, that this great light it wasn't fitting for wicked people to be able to use this light. So Omaru, he stood up, Vaganzu, and he hid away this light. He hid this light of the first day of creation. Why? Where? What did he do with it? He hid it away. Let Sadikim Lati Lavo, for the righteous in the world to come. But also this light, this we call it the organuz, the hidden light. Organuz can be accessed by each one of us individually by doing certain things. Number one, Shabbos. Shabbos, we have the organuz, the light, this light available to us. All we have to do is open up our eyes, and you'll see the great light. Studying Torah, if you're studying with the right motivation and so on, you get to the point where you're able to also have the organuz shine within your intellect, within your soul, to let you feel what you're studying. And he goes on to say, Ha'or HaKadosh Hazeh, Hu Asher Nivra B'Dvar Hashem Bereshis Habriya. This light, this holy light, is what God created at the beginning of creation, where he says, Vayomer Hashem Yehi Or Vayehi Or. God said on the very first day of creation, let there be light, and there was light. Or Zeh, Eina Or Gashmi. This light was not a material light, like the sun, but Kedugmas Hamaoros Shevnivro B'Yom Revi. It was the fourth day. It wasn't a natural light like the light that was created on the fourth day when the sun and the moon were created. Elahu or Elokoso Yisborach was the light of God, blessed be He, Asher Heir B'Chol Olam, who lit up the whole world. Aldas Shekosuv, as it's written, Aldavar Shekosuv, it's written, Lo Yecha Od Hashemesh Laor Yomam Lenoga Hayareach Lo Yair Lecha. You will no longer have the sun to shine in the day, the moon at night. Hashem Laor Olam, but God will shine for the whole world. Talking about the coming of Mashiach, when we will merit once again to have that special light. The light was created first, without this light existing in the world, even if it's hidden, the humanity would not be able to survive. V'gam kishra kadosh baruch hu sheinu kedai shishtamesh bo b'Yerushalayim, when God saw that it wasn't fitting for the wicked people to see this light, lo silku, he didn't shut the light off. Elashu b'chinas tamir v'ganis, like he covered it up and hid it away. Colossians Azor, Colossians Azor says, Ilmole is ganis mikal lo kayim alma afilu rega achad. He says, if in fact, if the light had been completely hidden from everything and was not available, accessible sometime in this world, somewhere in this world, the world could not exist for one moment. Ela askaz v'adra kahai zara. Abi told him bazarim even umine askayim. So basically, that's without an exact translation. He's saying that the way it was hidden was in a way that it was still accessible to some and guaranteed the continuation of the world. And when we say that God looked at the light and thought it won't be good for the wicked people to see this, we're not saying that God was sorry for what he created or made a mistake in doing it. God knows everything. God knew what was going to happen before he created the world. He knew what was going to happen with the beginning of the world and the end of the world. So what does that mean? This was the fact of going to hide away this light, this organuz, was in the initial conceptions of God in creating the world. This was part of his plan. He made it so that this godly light would only be accessible to somebody who was fitting to see it. That's who are those people? Those people who are trying to access the light, trying to open up your eyes to see the light, trying to follow God's ways, trying to do the mitzvahs, the commandments, trying to keep Shabbos, not to keep Shabbos, trying to make Shabbos, do something more than just not doing the prohibited things, but make it Shabbos. Doing those things brings that organuz into each of us. If somebody is not fitting for this, and doesn't work for this, he doesn't succeed in getting this light, and this is what it's meant. Is kept away from the wicked people. This is the aspect of hiding the light away. This light of the first day of creation, this very godly light, was hidden away and covered. But even though it's hidden away, God has given us the keys to unlock the treasure of this light if you're worthy of it. In other words, if you're working at it. It just doesn't happen. Okay, the Isa, the Menorah Tanchuma, Parsha Tetazvah, as it says in the Menorah Tanchuma, Sha'or Shabor HaKadosh Baruch Hu B'Yom Rishon Ganzu La'amolei Torah. It says that the light, this godly light that God created in the first day, was hidden away for those who work and struggle to study Torah. Ilu shemagim etzmam ala Torah, those who really work themselves for Torah. Umanadin shina meinehem, they sleep is missing from their eyes. In other words, they don't sleep because they're not wasting the time sleeping. They're spending the time studying Torah. Umoni machila v'shtia. They're not, spending a lot of time eating and drinking. V'amalim b'Torah, they work with Torah. It says in Pirkei Avos maybe that to study Torah, to really get Torah, to really put yourself into the Torah, you have to forego sleep, drink, and eat. I mean, you do these things to survive, but not overly. Exist on bread and water, basically. Just Torah has to be your life. Lahem miskala haraganus. So this is what the Medrash says to those people. This oraganus is revealed. V'hainu shebishvil elu hamisyagim al Torah. Never oraganus, for those that would work on Torah, the hidden away light was created. But despite that, it's important to remember, as we said last week, you can, if you put everything that you do into the concept of being for God, being for the Ratzon of Hashem, for the will of God, if whatever mundane thing you're doing, for example, you're working in your business all day long, from morning to night, and you don't have time to even open up a safe or even open a book, as long as when you start that, you're doing it because this is the will of God. I'm doing the will of God so I can support my family, so we can do mitzvahs, have Torahs, have Shabbos, have holidays, and so on. If you're doing it on that basis, it's considered as if you spent the whole day studying Torah. So that's how each one of us, we don't have to be great tzaddikim. Each one of us have the ability to rise to that level of gathering within us the organus, this hidden light. V'hinei Beit Hamikdash haya inyano l'romem es klal Yisrael. What did the Beit Hamikdash do? The Holy Temple did. It raised up all of Israel, l'kadsho b'kedusha yon, and sanctified all of Israel with the the holiness. Ayidei kliya kadosh v'avodas hamikdash, through the various vessels that were in the Beit Hamikdash and the Mishkan, and the service that was done there. And of course, today we no longer have a Beit Hamikdash. So what we do is we have a synagogue, we have a shul, we have tefillah. The construction of the synagogue, and we have an Ner Tamid. We have a lot of things in the synagogue are modeled after what it was like in the Mishkan of the Beit Hamikdash. You have the ark, which is covered by a parochas. You have the place where the chazan stands. That's I think symbolic of the mizbeach. So all these things are you even have a mechitza in Orthodox shuls, where men on one side, women on the other, which is also like it was in the Azorah in the temple courtyard, the same way. So that is our way of accessing part of the physical structure of the Beit Hamikdash today. And the avoda part, the service, is through our tefillah, through our prayers. V'yesh lamed inyan ha-menorah hayu shebo nignaz umimena nishpa ha'or haganuz hakadosh hazeh. It is said that the aspect of the menorah is that it was hidden away and covered, but nonetheless, you have this holy light that you're able to access. She'or ha-menorah lo hoya or gashmi. It's important to remember that the light of the menorah was not a physical light, was not a material light. Eloha'ir ba or holocaust. It was a godly light.
But he had to clean it and light it every day.
Yeah, he did have to do those physical things to raise it to the spiritual level that it was. Right? You had to clean it, and that's part of what God requires of us too, to cleanse our souls. But our souls are on a higher level. But nonetheless, our souls tend to get muddied in this world. So we have to clean them to keep them on that spiritual level. So they're always on the spiritual level, but sometimes even the things on a spiritual level get schmutzy, get caked with mud or something, right? This is the explanation of the Midrash. It says, "B'or pnei melech chayim HaKadosh Baruch Hu," the light of the living King God, Yoshev im Bosher V'dam B'ner, that God sits with us in this light. V'nil Madzos, we learn this, Mihamor el Mul Pnei HaMenorah, Yoiru Shiras Ameneros, where it says, opposite the menorah will light the 7 candles. She'im hakavana l'ner ha'emtzai ner ha'maravi ha'yatzorich lomer yiru sheishes haneros. If the intent was just to reflect that these candles are all turning towards the ner maravi, the western light, which was the middle light, then it would just say, it should say the 6 candles, the 6 lights instead of 7. And he says, Ella Shakavana, Al Mul Panei Menorah, Hainu Panimios Menorah, talks about the inner aspect of the menorah. In other words, God Himself is the inner aspect of the menorah. So God is actually sitting with us, was sitting with us in the Beit Hamikdash as we lit the menorah, as the menorah was burning. Shetzma menorah ha'isa bechinas bina bina shechina ilah. The aspect, the main part of the menorah was that the presence of God was within it. Shehi me'ira b'chol shivas hamidos. That gave light to all the seven qualities, and the 7 midos, which were, there are 10 different sphirot, and this is talking about the first 7. I'm not going to go into that, but it's talking about those things. There are things like, chesed, kindness, gvura, strength, keter, crown, and others. It gives strength. In other words, it gives you the strength to do what you're supposed to do as a Jew. And from that was lighting the whole people of Israel, or a godly light. And with this we can explain, why was the work of the menorah more difficult than the other things in the tabernacle? Why was it necessary when all the other things could be made by human beings? Why was it necessary for Hashem Himself to make the menorah? The mekivan she'etzem menorah he or hashchina, because the main aspect of the menorah is that it's the light of the presence of God. Shemimenu kiblu or zayin hanerot. From that you received, from the presence of God, from the Shekhinah, you received the light of the 7 candles, the 7 lights. And they light all of Bnei Yisrael with the godly light. Alkain dav kaba niskadsha Moshe Basiyosu. Niskasha Moshe Basiyosu. Therefore, this was made difficult for Moshe. He couldn't figure out that himself, because God wanted to make the menorah Himself to put this, to reflect the constant presence of the Shekhinah, of the presence of God. He wanted to be on a higher level than the other works of the tabernacle, so that through the menorah you would be able to put on the menorah the light of above. Because of this, because of this, from beginning to end, from its very creation, the menorah was above nature. And therefore, as I said before, it was hidden away with other things that were above nature. Before Gam came, Divrei Medrash, we can explain the words of the Medrash, HaKadosh Baruch Hu Malaharon, Shalachal Kaim Lad, where He said to Aaron, when he was upset, feeling bad, feeling ashamed that his tribe didn't get to bring the offerings like the other tribes at the inauguration, he thought it was because he did something bad, and that's why. And then God said, "No, yours is greater." So it's v'lo meid zot midichsiv el mul hamrei pnei menorah yerushivat hanerot. You learn that from the same sentence. Ba'avin, he says, "Ki el mul pnei menorah hakavana kivyachol laor hashkinu ayon." The intent is excuse me, when you talk about opposite the menorah, you're talking about being in the presence of God above. Shezeu etzem ha-menorah. That's the main aspect. Umikan shezeh inyan nitzchi, and that's an eternal thing. Ki kashem shakadosh baruch hu nitzchi, just as God is eternal. Kach gam el mul panei ha-menorah yiru shirus ha-neros. Excuse me. Hu inyan nitzchi. So too, the whole aspect of the menorah and the 7 lights, that's eternal. Shetala haneros b'menorah, because the lights are on the menorah. V'shaper yalif hamidrash kishulcha kayim lad. That's what the midrash says. Your gift of lighting the menorah will last forever. Shekivan she'or hameir hu or alakuso yisporach harizet nitzchi v'kayim lad v'lo shayach b'zeh chorban. So this is something that couldn't be destroyed. B'zeh de'isa b'omer chazal, as the sages say, Gemara Shabbos. Shiner Maravi Hayadolik Tamid, the western light, the central light, was lit always. She'edusu Leboy Olam Shashchina Shor B'Yisrael. This was testimony that God's presence was always with the children of Israel. L'chura Madur HaMenorah Hi Edus Lazeh Yotze Mishar Nisim Shnasu B'Kli Hamikdash. So he says, he asked the question, Tibur Shalom asked, why was the menorah chosen to testify to the presence of God in Israel more than all the other things that were in the Beit Hamikdash? It says Elamishum Shamenorah Inyane Or Halakut, because the menorah itself is the light of God. Shahir Ba Mipnei HaMenorah, that comes out from the face of the menorah. Shakadosh Baruch Yoshev Ba Mul Basar Dam. Hashem is sitting there with human beings. V'zeh Edus Shashchina Sharoi Israel, and that's testimony that the presence of God is with the children of Israel. Another thing to talk about as to how the menorah lasts forever. Hagon Hakadosh Reb Chaim Vital. Reb Chaim Vital says, "Bechol ha'olamos yesh memotze bein kol darga ledarga hagvol mimenu." In every world there are givers and receivers, givers to get you from one level to the next. Kashem sheish motze bein domam letzomeach, like there's a giver from an inanimate object to something that grows. Bein someach l'chai, between something that grows, a plant, and a human being. Bein chai lemedaber, chai from an animal to somebody who speaks, meaning a human being. Kach ba'olamot halyona, so to the upper worlds. Yesh b'motze bein olam namuch olam gavol mimenu. There are, I guess, connector is probably a better word. Connectors between a lower world to the upper world. Al pizeh yesh lamar the lekasher es Yisrael la'olamot haruchnios. So this connects the children of Israel to the higher worlds. It's above the materiality and gives you a cleaving, a connection, close connection to God. And that's the connection. Vacher ve'echad me'anyanim hu or elokut shu memotze ben HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yisrael. This light of God, this godly light, is the connector between God and Bnei Israel, or it's God sending it to us and we're receiving it. It's connecting us to God. This is the light of the menorah, the light, the godly light. And therefore he says, with you, Moshe, with you, Aaron, this light will last forever. Without this light of the menorah, without the godly light in our presence, which comes from the light of the menorah, the world wouldn't exist. Certainly, Bnei Yisrael wouldn't exist. Chas v'sholom. This is the connectivity that connects us Bnei Israel to God. Menorah Sheirul Yisrael Es Or HaLukus. The menorah that lights the light of God, the godly light, Hu Bechinas HaNeshama. It's like the aspect of the soul. Kamo Ner Hashem Nishmas Adam, as the pasuk says in Mishli, in Proverbs. The light of Hashem is the soul of man. Shem Adam Yochol Lichyot Kishachasher Lo Aver. Even though a person can live if he's missing a limb, below neshama, ein yachol lichyot. Without a neshama, without your soul, you can't live. Mokein l'klal Yisrael, and similarly, the children of Israel, ein zechut kiyum b'li or halakus. There is no merit for them to live without the light of God. L'chein or hamenorah hu inyan nitzki. Therefore, this light of the menorah is an eternal light. V'gam k'shechar Beit Hamikdash, even when the Beit Hamikdash was destroyed, v'nitlu kol hakelim shebamikdash, whatever all the vessels were taken away. Nishar l'hayir or hamenorah sheshalcha kaim lad. The light of the menorah, this godly light, being above nature, was not destroyed, could not be destroyed, and lasts forever. Ki b'li or halakut ein Yehudi yochel lichyot. Without this, a Jew could not live. B'chinas suma chashuv kameis. The Gemara talks about a blind person is similar to a dead person in terms of not being able to do some of the mitzvahs. When you're dead, you can't do mitzvahs anymore. So to a blind person is limited in the mitzvahs that he can do. Even if you're complete in all your limbs, same thing with spirituality. If you're on a perfect level, if your spirit is blind, you're not meriting the light of God. It's like you're not living. Chazal say in brachas, wicked people in their death, wicked people in their life are called dead. Why? Because they're not doing mitzvahs. The thing that sets us apart as a Jew is our neshama, which wants to do mitzvahs. And if you're not doing mitzvahs, it's like you're dead. And similar, it says, the flip side, tzaddikim misason korechayim. Righteous people in their death are called alive, because when you say over the words of somebody who has passed on, you say over Torah in their name, it's like the more it refers to, their lips are moving in the caver, in the grave. The wicked people, they don't have this or halakut. And the two issue, and their neshama is like a dead person. We are in a religion as Jews where it's not a spectator sport. We're not a spectator sport. We gotta. You want to have this godly light. You've got to do something to be able to bring it into yourself. It doesn't just happen. You got to do it. And as Tiva Shalom says, a number of places with regard to Shabbos, he says if somebody just keeps all the laws of Shabbos, doesn't violate Shabbos at all, doesn't do any of the lo sasas, things you shouldn't do, and he goes through the motions of Shabbos, but he doesn't really feel the aura of Shabbos, doesn't really feel the light of Shabbos. Yes, he'll get rewarded for that in Olam Haba, in the world to come. But he says the reward will be that in the world to come, just like he was in this world, he'll be sitting on the sidelines watching all the action with Hashem instead of taking part. And we don't want to be spectators. We want to take part. So my bracha to all of us is that we have a job to do with light. Torah tells us that as a Jew, we have to be an or lagoyim. We have to be a light to the nations of the world. The nations of the world needs a lot of light. We have a world in which societal mores are changing by the moment, faster than you can print what they are. Things that were unheard of years ago are now readily accepted. We have only one place to look for true guidance, and that is through the light of the Torah. That doesn't change. The Torah doesn't change with the times. And it's important for us, and I give all of us a bracha, that we should be able to spread this light, the light of the lessons of the Torah, the guidebook to living in this light, in this life, to everybody. Thank you for joining me, and have a wonderful Shabbat.
Mhm. Mhm. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.